I just want to preface and say that all the running footage has been taken on my iPhone compared to the GoPro. So feel free to skip to 2 minutes 30 seconds if you don't want to be dizzy and watching the running footage. Thank you. The Chicago Marathon has now been over and done for me. This was my first major, and really surprised at how many people ran this race. They mentioned that there were about 49,000 runners on that day, and it made a lot of sense because they split the start times by 3 separate waves, and each wave had 6 corrals. So I was in wave 2, and my start time was 30 minutes after the first wave started. Here are my split times. I started fast out the gate and then ended up slowing down towards the end. The reason that I started fast out the gate was because I felt really good. Like the weather was amazing. My warm-up routine for my run, I felt very limber, and I didn't really feel fatigued until mile 18. So around mile 18, I really struggled with cramping. I had a lot of cramping issues around 18, which was very unfamiliar to me. Previously in my other marathons, I usually have these kind of issues more towards the end, the tail end, maybe like 22 or 23 miles, and that probably has to do with the speed of what I'm running at. I mean, I started out so my 5K ended up being a 8-minute 12-second per mile, and as soon as I got to that 3-mile mark, I really told myself that I have to slow down in order to conserve my energy. I have to slow down. But every time I slowed down, my body just picked up the pace every single time. I had to check my watch at almost every mile increment because the speed of what I was running, I was surprised at myself. And if I looked at the BPMs, it really didn't increase until 15 miles plus. Like I was sitting at 150 for the first half of the race. And that's the reason why I kind of pushed myself. I knew that this course was fast. I knew that the weather was great. I knew that my warm-up routine was the same as all my other races. I didn't have any hiccups. So I wanted to push myself. I wanted to see how much faster can I PR. And unfortunately, I hit that wall early and ended up slowing down quite substantially, but I still had a personal record. Some takeaways that I found during the marathon is one of the takeaways is that now my marathon pace is officially about 8:45 instead of 9 minutes a mile, which I'm really happy about. That was really the goal for the end of the year, is to move from a 9-minute mile pace to an 8:45. And now that I ran the Chicago, I know that I can attain the 8:45. That was what I really wanted. The only thing is that during Chicago, my pace was very sporadic. There's times where I ran faster than the 8:45, and then there's times I ran slower. So I think if I average out to keep my pace at 8:45, I don't think that I will encounter burnout like I did with Chicago. Not saying that like burnout like I had to walk, but like burnout like I had to slow down just because my muscles they're cramping up with every movement I took. I had to lower my stride. I couldn't put as much energy into my legs because I knew that, or I had to be very careful because any misstep and it'll be game over. I would have to start walking, and I really didn't want that to happen to me during the race. Another big thing that I really can take away from this marathon is that my mental strength has increased substantially compared to my physical. And I think having that mental mind power of knowing that you can finish the marathon and building on that is the most important thing for running. And I hope to continue to build that mental endurance to push and increase my mileage time by 15 seconds by next year. That's it for this one, and I'll catch you in the next one.